If there were less abortions in America, would that be a good thing?
Yes.
Of course. The question is how we
Probably.
get there.
That's a good question. How do we get there?
Birth control.
Education.
Yes.
So the more birth control that has
And
happened,
education, and
the more birth
education.
control we've had in the West, the more abortions we have because people have more.
People need to be implemented like self-control.
How about this radical idea? What if people waited to have sex when they got married?
That will never happen.
Why?
Because people want to. I'm being so.
I did it. Yeah, I waited for marriage. I mean, it was amazing.
That's amazing for you, but you are not.
What about
everybody.
people who get
hold on.
married and
I know it's not easy, but
compatible?
but that's a good question. Let me get to this though. Do those of you that haven't, I'm guessing you all haven't waited till you got married. Do you wish you did?
No.
No? No? Do any of you wish you... So, in the ideal, if I could paint a world for you that you only shared your sexual experience with one person that was your soulmate, that's not interesting to you?
No.
Oh, that's cool. But
Wait, you guys don't
that's an
regret
ideal world.
any of the men you've slept with?
I maybe
I don't believe in
regret a man that I've
soulmates.
slept with.
You don't
but
believe in soulmates?
Not
How
necessarily.
about best friend?
No.
You don't believe in best friends?
I've had a lot of best friends in my life.
Perfect match.
No.
I don't think that exists
You meet
either.
so
You
many
guys
people
are
throughout
so
your lifetime.
jaded.
I do
You
think
meet
the
so
sex
many-
is better when
you
you're
meet so
in
many
love.
people throughout your
So
lifetime.
jaded.
At least we're consistent.
No, you're very
You
consistent.
can have multiple soulmates.
Multiple soulmates.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, with as big as the world is, you're not going to necessarily find exactly one person.
Because you're going to grow
Yeah,
throughout your life.
Yeah.
We're
Because, I mean,
changing
like-
all the time.
And sometimes
Your
people don't grow
soulmate
with you.
is-
But
So-
if that person were to grow with you, then that's...
So then, if it's not a soulmate, then what, I mean this not facetiously, then what is the purpose of marriage?
I don't agree. I wouldn't do a legal marriage.
to come into a union.
Is marriage even a thing that we should care about?
If you got divorced, I don't wish that, but if
God
you got
forbid,
divorced
yeah.
in 10 years, what do you think of that?
I don't think that will happen. It's
Yeah,
not,
but
it's
if,
not,
like,
it's not even
let's-
a hypothetical I want to entertain.
Okay.
Charlie, do you think secular people should get married?
I think everyone should get married. I think it makes you a better person. What I find interesting though is that you've said it best. If you have as much sex as you want before, and marriage really doesn't mean much, does it?
No.
Do you think America was a better country when people waited to have sex when they got married?
You think everyone did that in America?
No, it was the vast majority of women in the 50s and 60s would not have premarital sex.
I don't think we have
Every
like
study
the
shows it.
technology to prove that though.
Well,
Like we
yeah.
don't have the data
I think
that
a
we
lot
would
of
have
women
now.
are
First
still
of all-
having sex outside of marriage.
First of all,
hiding it better.
Talk to your grandparents' generation. We have studies, we have surveys, and we know this, by the way, because birth control wasn't that widespread.
yeah, but you can still
And
have
we did
sex
not-
without getting pregnant.
Right, but we
There's
know.
like times of months with ovulation.
But hold on a
stuff like
second.
that,
So let's
or-
just. You do not think that people are having more premarital sex today than they were 60 years ago?
I'm sure they are.
definitely
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's
all right.
But that doesn't mean they weren't at all before.
So
They
I'm
definitely
asking,
were
do you
before.
think
Or a
that's
vast
do you
majority.
think that's a good thing or a bad thing that people are having more premarital sex?
I personally don't like it. I don't like hookup culture at all.
You don't like hookup culture, but you're not regretting sleeping with a bunch of guys before a soulmate. Help me understand.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
And that, wait,
guys
but-
is
but
crazy.
Hold on, and you don't like
bunch
hookup
of guys.
culture, but you also. So
Okay,
help me understand all
so
this.
Let me, okay, so my body count is 6, and 2 of those I was in a relationship with. The third one I thought I was going to be in a relationship with. And the 3 before that, all of my friends were hooking up with guys, so I thought like, oh, that's what I need to do because they're all hooking up, so this is the normal thing. I should be hooking up. And I realized very quickly, I don't like hooking up with random men. I don't
Do
like
any
that.
of you think that women are being harmed by hookup culture?
Yes.
I agree.
So you all agree with that, but then you say that no, you don't think women are being harmed by hookup culture?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what?
We'll get that in a second. However, so then why don't all of you make a commitment that you're going to save yourself for marriage? You could do that. Society might not have to.
Because I'm already past the point.
Well, no, you can make a new. You can always become a new version of yourself. What's done is done, but you could say,
No.
I'm now going to save myself
wanna
from this
be-
point forward.
I don't want to be a new version. I want to be me, and they accept me for me.
What is me? What is that?
Whatever I've done in the past and up till this point.
So there's no improvement?
I don't need to improve necessarily. It's that I
You don't need to improve, okay.
Hold on. It's that I don't need to hide what I've done.
No, I'm not saying hide, but for example, bad example, if one is an alcoholic and they go through AA, and no, it's okay, and then you become a new version of yourself. That's growth, right?
Yeah, that's growth, but they should still know what I've done.
No, of
hey,
course
in
they
the
know.
Past,
They know it, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying you hide it. I'm asking the question: what is the argument against any of you young ladies saying, you know what? I'm no longer going to have premarital sex. I'm going to wait till marriage. Hookup culture is destructive. I'm going to find a man who values with me. He's never been with another partner, and I'm going to start a new chapter. What is the argument against that?
Because then you're going to come on this podcast and we're going to have a 2-hour-long conversation about how if everybody waited in the drive-thru and they paid $100, why is a man got to pay $2? You're going to, it's a conversation they have on here about everybody being reborn. They're like, oh, so if you wait now, everyone's already done it. It's not fair to the next man. They have this conversation every
I'm not tracking
podcast.
your argument.
No, it's not really an argument necessarily.
She's giving an example about the fact that like if I don't, all these people are going to participate in this anyways. So why?
I got it. Okay, but
you're kind of going to get shit on it.
Yeah,
anyways,
you're going to
is
get.
what I'm saying.
You're going to get treated like garbage whether you do it or
so
not.
you think you'll be treated like garbage if you don't have premarital sex?
Oh, easily.
Well, I just think maybe potentially the next guy wouldn't want to wait because they might be like, oh, but everybody
Hold
else
on,
didn't have
but
to
this
wait.
again, do you think that you have any leverage over the men in your relationships? What do men want more than anything else?
Probably sex.
Why don't you stop giving it to them?
Nobody's giving it to anyone. What are you talking about?
Well, you said in your relationships you guys had premarital sex.
But
so.
you could also like not participate in hookup culture and also decide to not wait until marriage. Like
But
those things don't have to
They're not.
be-
You're right. They're not synonymous.
Yeah.
But then, if you aren't waiting till marriage, then you're basically saying marriage means nothing. That's effectively what you're saying.
Not necessarily
it's
because
not.
But then
you-
what is marriage?
Because,
What is
like,
marriage
for
about?
Marriage is not about
It's more than
sex.
sex. You're right. But what is marriage about?
It's a bond between two people.
It's the person
a
that you choose
formal
to have a
bond.
family
I agree.
with.
So, but if you can't you have a
if you
bond without
meet-
marriage?
If you meet
Yeah.
someone who you don't want to have a family with, but you're actually in love or whatever, and you want to have sex, you should be able to. And that's not hookup culture.
Well, no, you should. Of course, you should be able to. I'm not saying
Exactly.
what you.
So
I'm
you should-
arguing
you
what
don't
one
have
ought
to
to
wait
do,
until
not what
marriage.
able to do. Able and ought are two different words. Able, fine. You have the freedom to do it.
Of course, yeah.
I'm saying in the ideal, what is the argument against the women of America saying, men, you have to marry me to be able to sleep with me?
But also, why?
Well,
why?
you should ask your co-host right here because he doesn't want to get married.
Yeah, I don't want to get married. Look, maybe I might have a
I'm a super trad guy, so excuse my questions.
So
Look, me
Can
and
I
Charlie
also-
aren't going to agree on everything.
Yes.
But, so what, I mean.
I do
No,
think that
I-
sexual compatibility is important in a
Well, I
marriage.
guess
Because that
Can
was
I
one of
ask-
the biggest
you go.
pieces of tension with my ex-husband is, we had a sexless marriage.
Yeah, that's a
And-
problem.
yeah, I guess.
And
you-
my,
but you-
and my
you-
new
you-
husband and I we waited a while.
And you said that he was more of a femboy, right? The first one, or like
I
more
mean-
feminine, right?
It wasn't necessarily.
Sorry.
He was
Or
a big,
beta?
tall Mexican,
Okay,
but
okay.
he just I made a lot more than he did.
Oh,
He
okay.
really
Can I
wasn't a
ask?
provider.
Do you think that men should wait until marriage,
Of
or
course,
just
absolutely.
women? Okay,
Yeah.
because I agree with that. Then, if women have to wait, men have
I
to wait
think
as
that
well.
America, there's a lot of problems with America. One of the problems has been that sex, in its ideal, is weighted in a holy setting between a male and female that share that experience only with their life partner. Now, there's exceptions, there's mistakes, but if we just throw it all out the window and say men won't like me and hookup culture, I think there's a lot of damage and a lot of ramifications for that.